Greetings, welcome back to Black Bear News, where we are discussing the state of the planet, the real state of climate change. My friends, there is an absolute onslaught, a deluge of climate change articles and news studies, readings, realizations, meditations, murmurations, palpitations, and just a virtual collective throwing up of the hands at those that come to know. As those that come to know have little to say, but this is the end, my friend, in the immortal words of Jim Morrison. I just want to say that all my talk of a way forward is in the realization, the full realization that we are most likely toast, and crispy toast at that, in the span of 24 months. But I'll gladly take a few more, and I'll gladly talk of if there was a way it would look like this. I do this because I seriously don't see anyone that has close to a decent idea about it. I do it because those that propose solutions don't understand the seriousness of the situation, especially the IPCC. I do it because those that know say, good luck, fare thee well in these final days, and I want to be just one person who has thought this through. I know others have. I know there are so many proposals about what to do. Well, not one of them is good enough to me. Not one of them look plausible. None of them have a well-defined enough map. Even Sam Carana's map, I'm sorry, is just kind of pathetic. Call me arrogant, egotistical, just another dude on YouTube talking into the void, which I am. But it's one of the ways I can say I tried. I thought it through. I have a blueprint if anybody cares. And I talk about it occasionally here. I'd like to talk blueprint in these last hours. It takes someone stupid and sane enough to throw themselves forward with the idea that this world is worth saving. But until then, we'll go forward with a few more items outlining the problems we are finding ourselves in, knee deep, then waist deep, then neck deep. You know how it goes. You know the song, I'm Being Swallowed by a Boa Constrictor. We will all be collectively singing that song shortly. So randomly, I was listening to a Chris Hedges interview the other day, and he was kind of like saying basically what I was saying a few videos ago about how all the life coaches and the preachers and the spiritualists and, all of us all of them telling us we can have everything we want if we just follow our dreams. I'm glad someone else is noticing this, and it's really bothersome, the optimism. It's making me angry, actually. We need reality and quick, and the reality is that we have to live within limits. This is a limited area that we're living in. The biosphere is limited, the earth is limited, the earth is finite, the resources are finite. If you can't live within your limits, you will end up in very hard times. That's just the truth. But it's one of the ways that they sell credit, that's the way this entire economy, this entire system is built upon promises and easy credit and adjustable with adjustable interest rates. I'm sure for them, that's a good thing. I don't know. I find myself being very upset on social media these days, seeing people kind of just touting this limitlessness. It doesn't exist. Nothing is infinite. Nothing is forever. We don't have a infinite energy machine. We don't have perpetual motion machines. We don't have it. And until we, our technology gets that great, I don't know what we're doing. We're going to have to start talking about limits, and we're going to have to start talking about them quick. And that is in the blueprint. Obviously, people are going to have to accept So when somebody says population birth control or some kind of limits or some kind of caps, you can't just be like, but wait a minute, that's not fair. That's, you know, somebody has to blah blah blue. No, it doesn't, you know, limits. You get a limit, I get a limit. We all get a limit. That's how it's fair. People are going to have to do without fossil fuels. People are going to have to do without, you know, heat and air conditioning. They're going to have to do without a whole lot of stuff if we're even going to have a chance of doing this. I can talk and talk about this, and I will continue to talk and talk about this, but I'm going to move on to some news items. Got a couple of things from Nicholas Humphrey from Facebook. First one, excuse me, is I lost this article real quick. Severe weather in Europe, record-breaking mid-level warmth for Northeast Europe this week. This is from yesterday, November 5th through the 7th. So crazy little heat surge happening. The pattern across Europe in the past 2 weeks has been a complete flip from what we had been experiencing through early and mid-October. Now, very deep troughs and cyclones and colder weather are maintaining across the North Atlantic and Western Europe, while strong ridging and much warmer weather dominates Eastern and partly Central Europe. Current trends indicate this pattern should continue for at least another week. In the coming days, this brings record-breaking warmth into the mid-levels across the East-Northeast Europe, with more than 15°C warmer air mass than usual for early November. While lowlands will likely not experience the extreme warmth, very warm weather is still expected across Poland, Belarus, and Baltic countries. Monday, November 5th, a strong upper ridge is located across the eastern northeastern Europe, while a deep trough enters the Iberian Peninsula from the west. Strong, warm advection and very warm air mass, 12 to 15°C above normal, dominate East Central Europe, gradually moving north due to prevailing winds from the south, in between the ridging to East Europe and the trough over the southwest Europe. Tuesday, November 6th, the upper ridge strengthens while trough low over the Iberian Peninsula weakens. A new deep trough establishes over the Atlantic. The ridge is now centered over the Baltic region and resulting in more than a 16°C above normal temperatures anomaly in the mid-levels. Very warm air mass now spreads also into south-central Scandinavia. Holy moly. Wednesday, November 7th, the upper trough over the North Atlantic deepens, while the northeast European ridge gradually starts weakening, but remains very powerful for another day. Due to a stronger jet stream push from southwest Europe, the ridge moves toward northwest Russia. The result of strong subsidence in the high-pressure system brings incredibly high 850 millibar temperatures, 16 to 18°C above normal. Note, the normal values for early November are only 0 to 2°C at this level. Wow, and so that in Fahrenheit, y'all, I looked it up. So that's the difference between 30 degrees and upper 60s, close to 70. Here are zoomed maps of 850 millibar temperature anomaly across the Northeast Europe. We can see the anomaly will be 16 to 18°C above normal. It's incredible for early November there. These anomalies are truly remarkable for so far north this time of year. And again, so I'm going to link this. Hold on, not done yet. The lowlands will likely not respond to the extremely warm mid-levels as they did in mid-late autumn and winter months. The region is usually trapped under a strong inversion layer. Therefore, the mid-level temperatures cannot mix to the ground without help of significant winds. The extreme warmth at about 1,200 to 1,500 meters results from the very strong air subsidence descending air parcels within the persistent high-pressure ridge. However, northern Poland and southwest Lithuania could still reach 12 to 15°C peak afternoon temperatures in these days. Meanwhile, southern Poland should peak into the low 20°C. Yeah, crazy anomaly. Just adding that we are still quite warm in Southern California for November. getting into mid-November, or no, we're still early November, November 5th. Excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself, but it's early November, and it's quite warm, quite sunny, quite balmy. This is also from Nicholas. This is from a couple days ago, but this is crazy. Italian storm claims 17th life and 14 million trees. So he had posted, reposted another post of like just photographs of trees just knocked down, just wide areas of forest knocked over, basically snapped. The trees were snapped like kindling because the winds were, I don't know if I'm remembering correctly, something like 180 kilometers an hour or something. It was crazy winds. Here we go. So I'm going to read this real quick by Reuters from November 3rd. Heavy rain and gales devastating parts of Italy have claimed 2 more lives, taking the overall death toll to at least 17 and laid waste to vast swaths of forest. A German tourist died on Friday when hit by lightning on the island of Sardinia, while another person struck by lightning several days ago died in hospital. 17 deaths related to severe weather. In the Alps near Belluno, 60 miles north of Venice, or 100 kilometers, pine trees and red spruces were snapped wholesale like matchsticks. The surface of the Comelico Superior Dam farther north near the Austrian border was covered with trunks of trees that had fallen into the Piave River, or Piave, I don't know how to pronounce that. We'll need at least a century to return to normality, Colderetti said. The governor of Veneto, Luca Zaia, said the region's storm damage amounted to at least €1 billion. €1 billion, $1.1 billion. Extreme weather doing its job one more time. And lastly, I'm going to follow up with this very enraging story. Obviously, I don't know if you all have seen this, but Antarctica's future in doubt after plan for world's biggest marine reserve is blocked. Environmental groups say Russia, China, and Norway played part in rejecting the plan. A plan to turn a huge tract of pristine Antarctic Ocean into the world's biggest sanctuary has been rejected, throwing the future of one of the Earth's most important ecosystems into doubt. Environmental groups said Russia, China, and Norway had played a part in blocking the proposal. Thank you, guys. So we have this, at least in the case of China, we have lots of mixed messages and mixed actions around climate change. They say they care, they try to do things, and then they go out of their way to just destroy the Earth wholesale. With the other 22 members of the Commission for the Conservation of Antarctic Marine Living Resources, the organization set up to protect Antarctic waters, backing the proposal. I don't know if the United States is in, it doesn't say. I read this earlier. I don't know, to assume not or yes, I don't know. Anyways, I don't know if there's a list somewhere somebody wants to see. Maybe I'm assuming not, because obviously Dumbledore doesn't want to do this. The 1.8 million square kilometer reserve, 5 times the size of Germany, would have banned all fishing in a vast area of the Weddell Sea and parts of the Antarctic Peninsula, safeguarding species including penguins, killer whales, leopard seals, and blue whales. Experts said it would also have played a key role in tackling climate change, as the seas around the Antarctic soak up huge amounts of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. The following days of talks in Hobart in Tasmania, the AMLR rejected the plan, which needed unanimous agreement to pass. Environmental groups who had mobilized 2 million people in support of the plan reacted with dismay. This is an historic opportunity to create the largest protected area on the Earth in the Antarctic. Safeguarding wildlife, tackling climate change, and improving the health of our global ocean, said Frida Bankston of Greenpeace's Protect the Antarctic campaign. 22 delegations came here to negotiate in good faith, but instead Serious scientific proposals for urgent marine protection were derailed by interventions which barely engaged with the science. She said rather than put forward reasoned opposition on scientific grounds, some delegations like China and Russia instead deployed delaying tactics such as wrecking amendments and filibustering, which meant there was barely any time left for real discussion about protecting Antarctic waters. The UK government backed the plan, with the Foreign Office delegation present for the talks in Hobart. Tasmania Minister Alan Duncan said, "It is not in our gift to do this unilaterally. It is subject to an international treaty which requires wider agreement with other countries. At CCAMLR, these proposals were rejected due to objections from others." The UK government has backed a proposal to ensure 30% of the world's oceans are protected by 2030, a move heralded as a breakthrough moment by environmentalists. But this does not look good. Not good at all. We are moving in the wrong direction globally, because it's just a go for it, go for what you can get scenario at the very end. It's a race to the bottom. Who's going to lose? Who's going to win? I'm sure y'all can figure that one out. That's all I have for you tonight. Thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. If you would like to support this channel, you can do so at the links below. Until next time, peace.